Man, now this is our problem with Stephen A, y'all. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the episode with JJ Reddick and uh this buddy's name, Chris Caruso, right? And Chris Caruso makes the comment that Draymond should just shut up and play, right? Um, and I'm sure he's aware of the negative connotations that has dating back to the situation with LeBron, right? And it took for JJ Reddick to stand up for Draymond in that situation, right? And JJ Reddick goes on to mention the undertone that comment has. And my thing with Stephen A is, and I never seen it before, but now I get it. I understand where a lot of these people are coming from when they talk about Stephen A's behavior towards the African American community. Because he didn't even address it. Not once did he address it. Not once did he break away from the script and say, hey, you shouldn't have said that. You know, that wasn't right to say. Now, he had all of the emotions. We seen his reaction, right? You know, if you go and watch the show, you go and watch the clips. I know that there's clips floating around the internet. But Stephen A reacts because he knows what Doggy says. That's what they call him. That's his nickname, Doggy Caruso. He understood what came out of Doggy's mouth, right? But it took for JJ Reddick to address it. It took JJ Reddick to address it and call him out on national television. Meanwhile, Stephen A is chucking and jiving, not saying anything. You know, and it's just really ironic that Stephen A seems to never stand up for his people, man. And I'm not 100% sure why he does it or why he doesn't say anything. But if you watch the episode, man, JJ Reddick was on fire. He was heated, man. He was heated because he understood what that meant. And no matter how you slice it, you know, you can say, oh, he didn't mean it that way. He said it. He said it. How often is it that, you know, you have a situation where you have someone like, you know, a Doggy Caruso who understands the media and how things are spun to fit the narrative of the media. If anybody understands, you know, how to watch what they say, it's a member of the media, trust me. So he meant exactly what he said. He understood the undertone behind it. You can't tell me he didn't. But my issue is with, he's going to be who he's going to be, right? That's just who he is. The fact that he didn't even think twice about saying that lets you know that's just who he is, okay? Stephen A. Come on, man. Come on, man. At some point, man, I'm gonna need you to come on home, bro. I'm gonna need you to come on home and start addressing some of these issues. Stop letting this stuff slide, man. You know, and that makes me think about Stephon Marbury and his comments. That makes me think about Jamie Foxx and his comments, right? You know, Terrell Owens. You starting to make me feel like they got a point. Because during these times when, you know, you have an opportunity to address the disrespectfulness, you don't. And it's usually someone else addressing it for us. Notice I said us. Because you don't seem to carry the rock when it comes to, you know, handling your business when people make disrespectful comments. And you know that there was an undertone because of your response when he said it. You and JJ both responded accordingly. Let's take a look at the clip, man.
I mean, you let it go one ear.
Yes, you have an issue.
Just shut up and play, will you please? America's tired of Draymond
Watch
Green.
the response.
I deal with them constantly. The fans, San Francisco fans, different story. They're tired of this. Should be quiet and play. And we all know he's got a great skill set for that team, but.
All right. So right there, man. Everybody responded. Everybody responded to what he said. You can look at their psychology and tell that they were uncomfortable. Right? But for some reason, the only person that addressed the matter was JJ Reddick. JJ Reddick is invited to the cookout anytime, any place, anywhere. Stephen A., you are banned from the cookout. You're banned from the cookout, buddy. Now watch how JJ Reddick goes in.
You're allowed.
Just shut up and play, because that has the same sort of connotations that the shut up and dribble crowd has towards athletes.
Exactly.
And I have a real problem with that. And specifically with Draymond, the idea that America is tired of him. You do realize the guy has a very, very popular podcast that he hosts where he talks himself for a majority of the episode.
Right.
And people listen to that. He signed a talent deal with Turner because people want to hear what Draymond has to say. The reason they want to hear what Draymond has to say is because, just like in this press conference, he is real, authentic, and unfiltered. And as a player, he is real, authentic, and unfiltered. The edge that he carries himself with, he's talked about this since game one. Klay Thompson has talked about this since game one. It's what makes him great. It's what makes him a future Hall of Famer. It's the reason he is who he is. It's just like saying, hey, Ja Morant, stop dancing when your teammate's making a three. The reason Ja Morant is great is because he plays with joy and fun and a carefree attitude and a fear.
Y'all hear the fire that JJ Reddick talking with right now? I want y'all to hang on to that thought, because we're going to listen to Stephen A.
You can't take away what makes a player great. So there's no shut up and play.
Thank you.
He is so polarizing. I can get for.
Y'all see the passion in that man's comments? He meant every word. JJ, cookout, buddy. You're invited.
All the fans that you think listen to the podcast and watch them, I can give you 50 million fans who would say the same thing. Enough already. So he is a polarizing athlete. Sure, there are certain younger fans especially that like to hear him play. I'll give you a large segment of older fans who have followed the NBA for 60 years, this is not a political scenario or a race situation, who have followed Wilt and grew up as a Knicks fan, who loved Clyde and loved Reed and loved the Pearl.
I disagree with you on that. I'm not saying it's a race situation. I'm saying that the fans you're talking about, they talk about athletes that way, like you just talked about an athlete.
I think there's a lot. I think there's a large segment.
The people on Fox News talk about athletes that way.
Well,
That's my issue.
Fox News
That's my issue. I don't actually care about the fans that watched Bob Cousy play or watched Wilt play. I don't care. I appreciate that they've been NBA fans that long, but I don't appreciate the undertone.
Hold on.
Thank you. Thank you. Shut it down, JJ. Drop the mic. Mic drops. Thank you, man. Now, man, y'all watch Stephen A, bro. This dude, bro. Man, y'all just watch this, man.
Hold on. Let's calm down.
Man, calm down.
I'm glad you pointed out, JJ, that it's not a race thing, because with Doggy, it's not. This dude.
No, I know that. I know that.
He's.
Now, look. Instead of him just coming on and saying, listen, a lot of racial connotations to that phrase. Okay. You know, address the elephant in the room. He may not feel no type of way. You know, Doggy Caruso may not feel that way, right? But you said what you said. How often have we seen Stephen A take the opportunity to, you know, use something on air when maybe a player didn't mean it that way or a person didn't mean it that way, but he took it that way and used that because he knew the connotations of what that person may have said, right? But he just completely just wanted to ignore the fact that was said. And that's the problem that people have with Stephen A. This right here is just sums up the issue with Stephen A. You start making that money and you lose your voice pretty much. And this is the issue that people have with Stephen A. This is the issue that Jamie Foxx has with Stephen A. This is the issue that Jalen Rose had with Stephen A. in the media. This is the issue that, Kevin Durant has, and other people, other popular athletes have with Stephen A. The fact that it feels Terrell Owens, we remember that segment, right? It just feels like Stephen A. doesn't have that same energy. He doesn't have that same passion, that same fire when it comes to addressing certain issues with certain people. Why? I don't know. But it's obvious.
He's talking, you do have old school fans that lament the fact that you got a lot of folks out there that are just saying, enough already, like he does. Now, people like me and you, we think differently. But there's a whole bunch, let me tell you, I encounter it all the time. There's a whole bunch of Mad Dog Russos running around. I'm here to tell you right now. I mean, it's unbelievable. There's no question about it, right? And so what happens is that I don't agree with it. I support Draymond Green in this particular situation. Don't give the bird to the fans. But in terms of what he said, I appreciate that. And all your points were right on the money. The fact that people want to hear what he has to say, the fact that he's raw, he's authentic,
My thing is, why not get on there and say, hey, I agree with the way that you phrase that, right? Address that first, right? We just gonna toe tip around that. We gonna toe tip around that, right? Let's see what else JJ had to say though.
You're talking about, but you can't say that about Draymond.
Not.
You can't say
Of course,
that
you know
about
I'm not.
Draymond.
I'm saying, I'm not.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not saying that about Draymond. I'm not saying that about 99% of professional athletes, to be very, very clear. But I do believe that when you talk and you bring up what you hear on other networks, you do have a lot of old school folks in the middle.
Well, you were referencing some plays earlier. You weren't with
us.
us. Some plays in the past and
It's tough.
some questionable decisions.
I don't know how you guys don't see it from a fan standpoint. I can go on that radio today and I'll get millions of calls. Chris, enough of Draymond Green. And I feel that way. And listen, he can say anything he wants. It's a free country. He can do all the podcasts he wants. Go ahead and do it. This is a free country. I have no issues with that whatsoever. And listen, from a fan standpoint, the shut up and dribble, you have an opinion. You can say anything you want. But I also have an opinion. And I don't want to hear Draymond Green at 1 o'clock in the morning after he flips the bird to the fans, after, he walked off the court. He wasn't walking off on a stretcher. He walked off the court, flipping bird to everybody and saying, well, I make $25 million. I don't care what they say. Calm down. Calm down. People don't want to hear that.
Kyrie Irving just got fined, whatever it was, $50K.
$50,000.
We'll assume Draymond gets fined another $50K on this one as well, in addition.
And he can have an opinion, right? He can have an opinion. My issue isn't necessarily with his opinion. I don't necessarily think what he said was, racist or anything like that. Not necessarily. But what I will say is, it's weird, man. Stephen A, man, it's weird how he won't step up and address issues or the elephant in the room that's in the room, clearly. Because JJ's addressing it. Clearly, the elephant is in the room.
To the game one final, the flagrant two. I've been consistent. I think you've been consistent too. We had no issue with the Kyrie Irving thing.
No.
You said you had an issue with this. I
don't have.
I didn't even see.
Well,
I didn't even
the
see the
bird
audio
thing,
on this until just now. So for him to say what he said about the concussion, like he has a valid point.
No, I loved his explanation. I'm just saying it was just a preface. Like, you know what, you could have said what you had to say without doing it, but I'm not condemning him. Yeah. I understand exactly where he was coming from. I would not have done it. You know what I'm saying? But I would have gave that I would have went off on the fans in the press conference and talked about how they came at me. You see blood coming down my face. I could have had a concussion. What kind of damn fan base are you? I would have said something like that without flipping the bird. But that's just a mere technicality. At the end of the day, I agree with Draymond in terms of his animus towards those fans for how they reacted towards him. And I disagree with Doggy when Doggy talks about, enough already, I don't want to hear it. But there's a whole...
So y'all heard him. He disagreed with what Doggy had to say, right? Right? You heard him. He disagreed with it. He even kind of uttered how or why he disagreed, right? Oh, I don't want to hear Draymond Green. No, say what he said. Say what he said. Disagree with what he said because of the connotations that come with that, right? Come on, man.
A bunch of people out there to think about Doggy and think like Doggy does. And guess what? They ain't all in this.
And here he go defending him again. He understands what Doggy did, right? And I don't know if it's like a contract thing where he feels like, you know, he need him on the show. Maybe it's business related. You know, maybe he, you know, all backstage they had some words. Who knows? But he said it on the air, so it needed to get addressed on the air. And Stephen A should have been the one addressing it, not JJ Reddick.
60s. They ain't even in their 50s. You got 20 and 30-year-olds that'll say about a particular play or a team they don't like enough already.
And not
you
only
have that.
Yeah,
By the way, I understand how
Memphis fan, I mean, it's
Draymond can annoy people.
Yeah.
I understand how Draymond can annoy people. In the same
love
way,
it.
I understand how Dylan Brooks can annoy people.
Yeah.
Like, but again, we're talking about an edge. Like Draymond carries that edge with him in his life. That's who he is.
Yes.
The idea of shut up and
pick, and
no, shut up.
I
Where he comes from. Yeah. He's a kid from Saginaw, Michigan. So just the notion, I'm going to take umbrage, the notion of shut up and play for any athlete, but specifically for Draymond, that's who he is. Mm-hmm. You take that. You take that with his greatness.
Now, you also can make this comment. This is in the heat of the moment. I don't think the Memphis fan really made anything bad by it, and they're spending a fortune to go to those games. And without those fans, you don't have a league.
And for him,
And
he's
they are
about to
spending
get stitches.
a fortune,
Yeah.
an absolute fortune, thousands of dollars to go to those ball games. Now, they ain't throwing anything on the court. You can't poo-poo that.
And that game was
That's true.
entertaining. And that game was entertaining.
Right.
So they
But
got their money's worth. They got their money's
But if
worth.
they want to clap when Bleen's walking off the court because he's hurt,
Gentlemen,
they have a right to clap.
let's get into break.
And do that. They didn't throw anything on the court. They have a right
Let's
to do
get
that.
into break. Healthy discussion. I think
healthy,
we
good.
represented all sides. That's what.
All right, man. So once again, bro, and this is just my thing with Stephen A, bro. Like, as you see and notice, JJ continued to bring it up and also use similar wording that Doggy Caruso used, right? You know what I'm saying? Because that was the elephant in the room. Stephen A, that was your opportunity to get invited to the cookout and you messed it up. You can't come to the cookout, bro. But I don't know why you didn't want to address it. I don't know if it's because of business purposes or what. But clearly, we seen JJ Reddick continue to press the envelope, right? Because it's important, you know, not only because, you know, for basketball players, for athletes to have that respect of the media, but to also not allow someone to come in and utilize those undertones and get away with it. Because that's the very thing we're trying to fight against. We want to bring the country together, right? We want to unite. So we can't allow that to continue. And I'm glad JJ Reddick, because it's important. It was as important for JJ Reddick to say something as it was for Stephen A to say something. I think JJ Reddick made a point to address it, and I think that him addressing that also, you know, created a door for other people to see that ain't okay. Somebody's gonna say something to you. Somebody's gonna say something to you. But going back to Stephen A, that's what everybody's talking about. And he always gets so offensive. You know, we seen him get offensive with defensive. He always gets defensive when somebody mentions his blackness. You know, somebody mentions his blackness, he tends to get defensive. And I think it's because he understands how important it is to, you know, keep that side of him present. You know, and I think that part of his drawing is his racial status, right? I mean, he's one of the only, you know, popular or maybe one of the most popular black analysts. So, you know, that sort of ambiguity he can use to pull in revenue and you know, followers and audiences from both sides, right? And I think that he plays on that. So then whenever his blackness is questioned, it kind of hurts his pockets a little bit. But anyway, man, I really see the point that Terrell Owens made, Jalen Rose made, you know, Stephon Marbury, and the list goes on. The list goes on, man. This is why people have an issue with Stephen A. Smith. But anyway, man, that's the clip, man. I just wanted to bring you guys a quick clip and you know, let y'all see, you know, kind of what's going on, man, and kind of what was said. But just know, Stephen A., you can't come to the cookout, buddy. JJ Reddick, you invited. By the way, y'all see the We Don't Talk About Bruno going on up in here, man. I got the green, you know. We got the We Don't Talk About Bruno sweater, you know what I'm saying? This ain't really what it is, but it's green, so that's what we calling it, man. My kids put me on, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we holding it down, but we don't talk about Bruno. We holding it down for Bruno tonight, man. But anyway, that's all the time I got for the night, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Man, let's have the conversation in the comment section. Until next time, I'm out.